Ladies and gentlemen, the press who have seated their various country and various location on our different platforms to listen to this broadcast today. I welcome all of you. I welcome the enemies of Biafra, who may have seated today in their different locations, country, to listen to the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and to look for something to gossip about. I welcome you. Today, the state of the nation is going to be very brief and completely different from what we used to do in the past. I want to thank Biafra people and wish you happy new month. The month of November, the month of liberation, and the month of taking the liberation of Biafra to the next level. We have successfully conducted the Biafra Self-Referendum Convention in Finland, and it is making wave all over the world. We're breaking the jinx, and we're making waves. These are the waves that is needed in a liberation phase like this. We have been able to generate and create a heavy awareness for the interest of the Biafra all over the world. I thank Biafrans who participated in this particular Finland Convention, and those of you who did not participate, but you participated financially, and those of you who did not participate financially, but participated spiritually. I thank all of you for making this particular dream a reality. I want to inform Nigeria government today that what Biafrans are fighting for is a just cause. It is no longer just an ideology, but it has become a realistic ideology. The Biafra freedom in this century has become more realistic than ever. And I want to also thank those who has made it possible for us to come this far. Many of you, you know yourselves. I want to thank the cabinet of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, the cabinet, the ministers, the head of department, and all of you. I want to also thank the media team of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile for their resilience, their job, and what they have deposited so far. I want to thank the media team, specifically the media team. For those of you who do not understand what we're doing, the Biafra government in exile, I want to make reference to what has happened in the past. For those of you who may not understand, I want us to reflect back to the history of how the government in exile were formed in the first place. The rapidly with which, during the time of war, with which the German armies, in violation of all international agreement, overran the vast territories and countries in 1939 and 1940. That is what gave birth to government in exile, of which Biafra is proudly being part of that particular historic method. Today, the German army overran majority and many territories within Europe between 1939 and 1940. It left many countries prostrate before even they had opportunity to organize effective defense, or even before they could prepare themselves legally to form some set of government. The early stage sovereignty during and after the war, the anti-Axis forces faced with an enormous situation where most of these forces were forced to resort to the formation of government in exile, of which Poland started the formation of the government in exile. In order to perpetuate the legal expression of countries which suddenly found themselves without government. Today, Biafra people of the southeast and people of the south called Nigeria today has found themselves without government. The government that doesn't represent the interests of the people, the government that kills its own people, the government that commits genocide, the government that above all funds terrorism against its own people cannot be said to be a government. That's what Simon Ekpa, the Biafra Republic government in exile, and every well-meaning Biafrans all over the world are fighting against today. The system of government in exile is strictly a wartime expediency. That particular wartime expediency is exactly what is happening in many parts of Nigeria today, leading to the creation and formation of Biafra Republic government in exile. Without a real president, but their formation was a natural procedure. This was their recognition by other powers. The first government to form an exile government cabinet is Poland. Poland was the first country to form government in exile. They had anticipated an emergency situation and had prepared the legal ground. Under Article 24 of the Polish Constitution empowers the President of the Republic to appoint a successor under certain conditions without the approval of the Polish Sejm. On September 30, 1939, the Polish President Ignacy Mościcki who was interned as a refugee in Romania by the Bucharest government, appointed by later as the President of the Polish. The former Speaker of the Polish people, or the Polish Senate, who was at that time free in Paris. He was in exile in Paris. In turn, the new president appointed as Premier General Sikorski, a political moderate and an opponent of the late Polish dictator Pilsudski. General Sikorski, who had lived several years in exile, had been serving as commander-in-chief of the Polish army in France. This government was recognized by Britain and France and was extended financially credit. They even granted them financial credit. Choose. By the simple acceptance by the Allied powers, the Polish government was granted constitutional continuity. And of course, the legal status of government in exile is something that every Biafran must understand. The reason why I am touching this particular topic today in the State of the Nation address is that it has come very clear that many Biafrans are ignorant of government in exile. They do not understand what government in exile entails. They do not understand the functions of government in exile, and do not understand what we intend to achieve by the formation of this particular government in exile, which has taken responsibility of governance and protecting the life of Biafrans all over the world. This simple legal formula has been applied to every nation whose government fled to Allied soil after defeat by Hitler. The only government in exile whose constitutional continuity may be questioned is the Czechoslovakia. The Czechoslovakia was the only government that sustained after the Hitler and after the invasion of many countries within Europe. On October 5th, 1938, shortly after the Munich conference, Edward Benz resigned as the president. But Czechoslovakia government continued to function under President Hacha and Premier Rudolf Beran. The leader of the Agrarian Republican Party, along with former Premier Milan Husa, until the German invaded the country in March 1939. President Hacha government had been recognized by France, England, and the United States. In the effort to lend weight to the Munich Agreement, but when a protectorate under von Norwich was established by the German occupant, no steps were taken by the Hacha cabinet to contest the legality of the new regime, even though France, Great Britain, and the United States explicitly refused to recognize the puppet state. The campaign for a new Czechoslovakia government started in exile as well. Very soon after, when March 1939, Czechoslovakia diplomatic representatives in the United States urged Dr. Benz to assist them. Now, having listened to this short brief about the exile government and how it started, we may also need to look into functions of the exile government as you see today under international law. International law recognizes that the government in exile may undertake many steps of type of actions to conduct of their daily affairs. These actions include becoming a party to bilateral international treaty. Biafra has signed some international bilateral agreements and treaty, and many are on the way. It was possible because of the formation of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Amending or revisiting its own constitution, the Biafra Republic government in exile has adopted a charter called the Helsinki Declaration. Maintaining military forces, the Biafra Republic government in exile has formed its own military forces called the Biafra Liberation Army and Biafra Resistance Fighters, and Biafra Navy, and Biafra Air Force, as empowered by the international law. Retaining or newly obtaining diplomatic recognition from other states. That's exactly what Biafra Republic government in exile is doing. We are obtaining diplomatic recognition from other states, and many states have extended their hands of fellowship to the Biafra Republic government in exile, including the recent one today. On this day, we have received an offer of recognition from intending state. Issuing identity card is part of the function of the government in exile. Biafra government in exile have activated the data collection of every Biafran all over the world, including the issuance of the Biafra National Identity Card. This particular identity card was unveiled during the Helsinki Declaration here in Finland. The government in exile function is also allowing the formation of new political parties. This is what Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government is going to do in the nearest future. Holding election. Holding election is what the Biafra Republic government in exile and de facto government is going to do in the nearest future. Now, fellow Biafrans, having listened to the functions of government in exile, of which the Biafra people are operating now, and I am the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, let us now go into the delegitimization process of the Nigerian government within Biafra land. The delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land have started. and it has started with full force. This delegitimization is coupled with the self-defense, making sure our women and children are not killed anymore, making sure our women and children and elderly people don't pay the price of being one Nigeria, making sure that no genocide is being committed without resistance. We are resisting them through and using the delegitimization system and method. Today, our Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra resistance fighters are engaging the terrorist state of Nigeria, who come to kill, maim, and destroy. I want to inform you all that as we step into the next level of the delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land, a lot is going to take place. Our aim, objective, and target is to make sure that the enablers of this evil government within Biafra territory will be evicted. In the coming days, there is something that is going to happen in Imo State. We were told that the Nigeria terrorist state is about to conduct election in Imo State. And I want to make it very clear on this day that Biafra people will never allow Nigeria anymore to validate any government within Biafra land. Biafra people are not going to allow Nigeria to conduct the election in Imo State. But I have a message for the people of Biafra. The result of this coming election in Imo State has been written by Hope Uzodinma. And he has paid INEC. And INEC has a copy of that result. So it does not matter whether there is an election or whether there is an election. Hope Uzodinma is already there. He has the result written. But what we want to prove to the world is that there will be no election in Imo State, and they are still going to call Hope Uzodinma as the winner. And even if election takes place in Imo State, they are still going to call Hope Uzodinma as the winner. So for that reason, we want to prove to the world that first, we will never validate the evil entity called Nigeria, the fraudulent entity called Nigeria. There is no election taking place in Nigeria. We have seen it in the general election. We have seen it in the other election this year. And just the general election, presidential election, the court ruled who become the president. It is not by your vote. It is not by democratic process. There is nothing like democratic process in Nigeria. So for that reason, apart from other things that we have come to see, evidently, the election will be, we are going to make sure that election don't take place in Biafra, starting from Imo State. And that is part of the delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land. We are only asking for a true democratic process that will lead us to a new nation. A nation where the vote of the people will be counted. A nation where we are going to practice a true democracy. A nation where people will come out to vote and their vote will be counted. So we don't want a nation where somebody will be somewhere and have written results since last year and have a copy of that result, and the copy of the result is with the INEC, and then they are coming to deceive the public, and people will go out, and at the end of the day, they're going to call his name. And I want Biafrans to understand that you don't forget how Hope Uzodinma become the governor of Imo State. It was by court. They control the court, they pay the judges. In the coming judgment of the 5th of December, I came publicly to announce that we have knowledge and intel that the judges have collected 1.2 billion naira each in order to shift the date of the judgment between Hope Uzodinma and Ihedioha to the 5th of December. So that by then, they have done their selection in November 11. I made that particular exposition on our official Twitter handle, and yesterday, the news was public. So what I'm telling you now is that there is nothing going on in Nigeria that we do not know. Every Biafran anywhere in Nigeria is a true Biafran. And they don't want Nigeria, but many of them are scared of getting killed. So, I want every Biafran to listen and listen attentively how the delegitimization of Nigeria is going to start from Imo State. We are going to make following announcement to make sure that the Biafra Republic government in exile, collaborating with the de facto government, Biafra de facto government in the homeland, will make sure that we do not validate evil entity called Nigeria again. It's start from Imo State. And every one of you in Imo State have a very important role to play. Your role you have to play is when this order is given, you listen to it and obey it. Because we do not want to validate Nigeria anymore within Biafra territory, and we have legally constituted the de facto government in the homeland controlling the territory, and that is exactly what the international law says, and we are exercising that right in full margin. From the 9th of November 2023, Imo State will be under curfew from 6 to 6. Lockdown. On the 9th of November, Biafrans in Imo State will lock down curfew 6 to 6. On the 10th of November, Biafra land in Imo State will be under lock and key. The Okigwe State will be locked down. The Owerri State will be locked down. The Olu State will be locked down 6 to 6. On the 11th of November, being the day that they claim that their shambolic selection is going to take place, Biafra people will lock down entire Biafra territory. And every road leading to Imo State will be shut down by Biafra people. Biafra people will close down every federal road leading to anywhere in Imo State. And those of you who have come to Biafra to kill and you are lodging yourself in different hotels, I want everybody to listen to this particular announcement very clear. We are not going to allow you to be an enabler in our land, to be facilitating the killings and genocide happening in Biafra land. We have come to understand that many media houses, many offices, many companies are facilitating the genocide happening in Imo State. So if you use your company to advertise any politician, if you use your company to advertise any Nigerian politician, it means you are validating this genocide happening in Imo State. If you use your media house to advertise Hope Uzodinma, advertise any other person running under Nigeria election in Imo State, we will see you as the enemy of Biafra and the enabler of the killings going on in Imo State and the enabler of the genocide. And you will be treated, your company, your businesses will be treated as the business of the enemies within our land. So this evening, we are giving directive that every advertisement in any media houses within Biafra land of any political office, running person or anything under Nigeria government, this evening is banned from Biafra land until further notice. From Imo election, we do not want anybody to advertise any Nigerian politician under Biafra land, in Biafra land, and your company is in Biafra land. You can go to Abuja and advertise anybody you want to advertise in Abuja. It is not our business. You can go to Lagos and advertise, carry your company, move them to Lagos. You can advertise anybody you want to advertise from Lagos. We don't care. But you see in Imo State, you see in Biafra land, that is no longer, acceptable from tonight. So there is going to be lockdown on the 9th, lockdown on the 10th, lockdown on the 11th, and lockdown on the 12th of November to make sure that we effectively delegitimize Nigeria election within Biafra land. It is not even called election, it is fraudulent selection. So we are going to make sure we put every resources to delegitimize the Nigeria from conducting their fraudulent selection in Imo State. Imo State is Biafra, and Imo State has 3 states of Biafra. I want this particular announcement to be shared in all your platforms, all your media platforms, all the media houses in Biafra land must make sure that this message penetrates. And like you know, when they finally declare Hope Uzodinma a winner, we already know how we deal with him. Because it doesn't matter, and we want the world to see what Nigeria does with their so-called democracy. There is no democracy. We are fighting to bring a true democracy to Biafra land. Again, for those of you who are wondering, why do we want to do self-referendum when we have arms, when we are in armed struggle, when we have army, when we have resistance fighters? The question and the answer is very simple. You cannot be fighting for referendum and live yourself in a very porous way to be killed and butchered by the Nigeria state-sponsored terrorism, jihad. We don't want to do that. So what we did is that we decided to adopt a holistic approach in liberating the Biafra people. So we are going to arm ourselves for self-defense. We are going to use the diplomatic approach and then also a democratic approach, which is the self-referendum. So as we are organizing and getting ready for our self-referendum, the arms wing of the Biafra Liberation Forces will be ready and busy protecting our women and our children while this process goes on. That's why some of you do not know anything. So you just listen and follow those who knows what they are doing in Biafra Liberation to lead you to freedom. So we cannot just be fighting through a democratic process while they are burning and killing us every day. So now we have adopted this approach, making sure that Biafra Liberation Army is armed to the teeth, making sure that the Biafra Resistance Fighters is armed to the teeth, making sure that every armed forces or armed carrying group under Biafra Republic Government in Exile is armed to the teeth for self-defense of our land, self-defense of our women and children, while the democratic process goes on. And I believe those with that concern, it has been addressed today. Also, we have a very special announcement. A very special announcement this evening, and I want everybody to pay attention attentively. Like I said, this particular state of the nation is completely different from what we normally do in the past. There is going to be a shake-up in Biafra government in exile, and also, as you can see, in the de facto government in Biafra land. Today, we have appointed Professor Chioma Ekoma to head the Biafra Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Professor Chioma Ekoma has distinguished herself and has proven the capability to handle this office. And of course, we believe that she is going to deliver very much in this office. So from today, of the Biafra Center for Disease Control. Also, in the same hand, we want to inform Biafrans that the delegitimization of Nigeria guts and braveness. If you are one of those moment.
Ikwere na Biafra, weyerumo fakagenu. Ikwere na Biafra.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos.
This special announcement, is continuous. And this evening, we are forming and informing Biafra people of our readiness to exit Nigeria and the preparation to make sure that most of the political office holders representing Nigeria within Biafra land is delegitimized. And to make sure that we have effective government in exile, that we prepare the ground for Biafra people to have their freedom. There is a shake-up within the government of Biafra this evening. I want everybody to pay attention very, very attentively. We are going to have a new Asia rep. A new Asia rep today. You have been appointed, Henry Azubike. Henry Azubike has been appointed as the Biafra Republic Government in Exile Asia rep. Henry Azubike, is based in Japan. We also have a new appointment to the office of the European representative. You have the deputy European rep in the name of Nwada Anita Obi O. Nwada Anita Obi is based in Netherlands, and she is from tonight the deputy European rep of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. We have also a new rep in Spain. The new rep in Spain is in the name of Bernard Iheoha. Bernard Iheoha is the new Biafra Republic Government in Exile representative in Spain. This evening we are constituting a committee that will make the identity card processing or procedure to be very smooth, make sure that Biafrans do not encounter any problem while registering for the issuance of the national identity card. In this committee, the committee will be headed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Attorney Jane Onyi Ikezi, and deputized by Oge Nkere, the Minister of Finance, and the Baltimore office admin. Oge is there because the office is located in Baltimore. We have the members of this committee will be Egwu Praise. He is the Regional Intelligence and Infrastructural Security. And we have Professor Chioma Ekoma. He is the head of the medical research that I just announced a few minutes ago. And then we have Uche Obi, European rep. We have Anita Obi, the deputy European rep. We have Love Akubondo, New York rep. And then we have the Henry Azubike, who is the Asian rep, and also the temporarily acting admin of the Japan. On the other hand, the announcement continues. This evening we are relieving the Italian rep, Aero Machine, of his duty as Italian rep. From tonight, Aero Machine is no longer Italian rep. The new acting Italian rep will be Mrs. Emanuela, and the new acting admin, interim admin, will be Professor Anthony Mwiboko. Mwiboko will work and serve as the admin of Italy, while Mrs. Emanuela will act as interim rep of Italy. And by this, Mrs. Emanuela is hereby ordered to make sure she return every member that has been expelled and removed from the Italy group with immediate effect. I want everybody to understand, if you are appointed to hold any position within the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, you must be loyal to the authority, you must be loyal to the government and nothing else. If you show that you are not loyal to the government, you don't belong here. You are not part of us. This particular movement must be piloted by somebody that is very, very tough and knows what to do. And we can't have two captains on a ship. The next announcement is the new acting Chief Security Officer, the new acting Secretary of Defense in the name of Mazi Nkwocha. Mazi Nkwocha is the new Minister of Defense of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile until further notice. From this night, his activity is official. Nkwocha is based in the United States, and I wouldn't go into details of his activity so far. So he is now acting as this Minister of Defense of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile till further notice. Biafra people, I want everybody to understand that in this particular movement, a lot of toes will be stepped on and we'll keep moving on. Those who believe that without them, Biafra will not come will be disappointed. Those who have done their job diligently with good spirit, God will reward you. Those who think that they can destroy what we have built and what we are doing, failure await them. And those who think that by disrespecting the authority of the Biafra Republic government in exile, they can create different groups, different WhatsApp groups, and start to blackmail people or start to cause confusion, failure is what is await you. My fellow Biafrans, from tonight, remember to keep distance 1 kilometer away from barracks. Remember to continue to keep your distance 1 kilometer away from checkpoints. Those checkpoints remain illegal in Biafra territory. And I want to inform Biafra people the process, what we are going to do in the process of actualizing Biafra. I want the de facto government executives in Biafra land to listen very attentively. Before the end of November, or from the first week of December, you are all going to be mobilized with electronic gadget. The electronic gadget is for you to begin the process of data collection of every Biafran within Biafra land. The data collection will be transmitted directly to the database of Biafra. We have been able to create a database of Biafra, and I believe that the IT department of the Biafra Republic government in exile is working day and night to make sure that this website for the Biafra database system is up and running. So we are looking at the executives of the de facto government in Biafra land to start the data capturing of every Biafran in Biafra land from the first week of December or before the end of November. This data capturing will see that we capture the entire Biafrans, as many as possible. The same thing goes to those in diaspora. You are going to be enlightened, those of you in diaspora, you are going to be enlightened on how you can, make your own data application or apply for the database system for your name to be, saved in the Biafra database system. This particular collection of database of Biafra people will enable us to start the process of the self-referendum that we have been talking about. And I want everyone to understand that the self-referendum will be conducted after we have secured our territory to some certain extent. The securing of our territory requires arms, ammunition, requires men of goodwill, requires men of valor to make sure we protect and seal our territories, those territories that we have captured. It is going to start very, very soon to make sure the enemies are pushed away from our land. Those enemies who come to kill our women and children without remorse, we will push away from our land and we'll be able to secure those territories. And once we secure them, the process of the counting and data collection in Biafra land will start. And I want to inform you people today that so far so good, we have been able to delegitimize Nigeria government, evil government, to a certain extent that we can actually conduct referendum unchallenged. But we want to make sure that this particular control of territory is to the highest level. So, in order to make this possible, if you hear that people are collecting data in the next 4 to 5 weeks, please make sure you confirm from your various state administrators, various state secretaries, various state admins, from district to district. Make sure you find out that this is not Nigeria state trying to take advantage of your data. We are going to deploy, and when that time comes, you have to listen to an announcement that I'm going to make. Then you will know that it is a genuine Biafran data collection, not any DSS data collection center. So this data collection will be run through from district to district, from village to village, from unit to unit to the end, to make sure that every Biafran data is collected. I want to thank you all for listening to this particular information today. And remember, those who may have been relieved of their duty today, it is not that you have not done well, but the heat is above you. And it is time for new blood to try and give us the result that we want. It is not because you are not good enough, but the pace we are moving now, you can't cope up with this pace. Do not go out there to fight, otherwise you are going to ruin every reputation you have built so far. Sit back and watch how we lead you to freedom and how we lead you to Biafra. From here, from me, I say may God bless you, and may God bless Biafra, and may God bless all our heroes. May God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as we continue to ask for his release, and Nigeria State continue to flood that particular request. We are going to fight and bring him out of this evil detention in the nearest future. Thank you.
Mercy on we, Biafra, Lord, give us a freedom. Have mercy on we, Biafra, and give us a freedom. Oh Lord, have mercy on we, Biafra, and give us a freedom. Father, we need our leader. Prophet, we need our leader. We need our leader. Yeah, man.